Greetings, listeners, and welcome to The Spiritual Experience, a show where we share stories of life, love, and redemption for all of humanity on Earth. So sit back and enjoy. Try to identify with the speakers and not compare. Don't forget to subscribe on all podcast platforms. I'm your host, Jay Lewis, and here we go. Hey, what up, everybody? Spiritual Experience, we are back. We never left. It's been a busy couple of weeks, so I haven't had a chance to sit down, juggling a bunch of things. Holidays are coming. Who's getting what? Who's getting what? Like, thank God I don't have to do any shopping or anything. I really don't. My lady handles all of that stuff. You know, my mom, she wanted us to come up for Christmas Eve, and we are not. Nope. We're gonna keep it low, and because on the 26th I'm flying out to Texas to go see my firstborn son. Well, it's the only son I have. The others are, I don't know, on the fence, whatever they claim to be, and that's okay too. So we're probably gonna go check my mom on Three Kings, which is, if I'm not mistaken, hold on, I'm gonna come on Google's. I think Three Kings is on January 6th. Let me double check. I've been loading my face with food, but getting on the wagon this past couple of weeks. Three Kings Day. Yeah, January 6th. What public holiday? It's January 6th in Colombia. What the fuck does that mean? It's Epiphany. I don't know. What is the meaning of Three Kings Day? At the end of the 12 days of Christmas comes a day called Epiphany or Three Kings Day. This is a holiday that is celebrated the day that three wise men first saw baby Jesus and brought him gifts. On this day in Spain, many children get their Christmas presents. My family is not Spanish from Spain, so we are not doing that. But, we normally get together, we eat, we chill, we do whatever. You know, we got like these customs that are nice, and I would like to continue, but it's not all the way up to me. Kids, they don't, who knows what they want to participate in. My little one, she likes all of that stuff, all the holiday things or whatever. But, as we grow and as we evolved, what are we going to, how are we going to, change some of the bad stuff and keep some of the good stuff? I think that's like the dilemma as humans. I was thinking about this because, I listen. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in the news. Holy shit. I mean, you got Elon with Twitter. Well, it depends. What's news for you? All right. It could be for you guys, Tory Lanez is on fucking trial. And I don't, I just know that I think he shot that girl in the foot. What's it? Megan Thee Stallion, which is like, it's whatever. So what was that movie, Harlem Nights? You're going to shoot me in my pinky toe. Yeah, he shot her ass in the fucking foot, and now he's got to pay the price. So that's in the news, but that's nothing to me. Like, I don't know why. You know what it is? I think the algorithms with Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the monsters, or maybe it's just like us little horned people behind there pulling the levers, kind of like what do you call it? Like those penny slots. I think that's what it is. They're like, oh, we're just, there's like these little beings or these little bots or whatever that are doing that and saying, like, well, you clicked on this, So how about this? You know, you clicked on fucking whatever. You posted rap music, so you must be interested in fucking Cardi B saying that she took her butt injections out of her butt, which is like good for her because it was gonna get fucking crazy. Hang on one second, I have to grab something. I'm sorry, friends. Stand by. Okay, we're back. Oh, yeah, that happened on its own. Yeah, we're back. We're just going to leave that in however it went. I got me this, they're obviously not a sponsor. Snapple Zero Sugar Snapple Tea. Raspberry tea, naturally flavored. Yeah, fucking right. 10 calories per bottle. This is like the zero sugar one. So 1 gram of carb, and it's probably got all kind of chemicals in there that they put on the label in like this font and this this font that's like it kind of blends in. You can't even read it. And I had really good eye surgery. I paid fucking a lot of money, so I can see you. And I can't read it, but it don't matter. But hey, look, for all the fucking lefties, it's gluten free. Woohoo! Shout out Liam. Gluten free, you know. What's that Black Rifle commercial? Something like I don't know. I'm gonna fuck it up, so I don't want to say anything. But that Black Rifle coffee is like, oh, if you don't want your coffee with any soy or social justice, buy our shit. And I'm like, dude, I would buy it just so you can make money to keep running those ads. And I don't drink Black Rifle. I don't. I think I had it one time in a can on the road, and it was really fucking strong, and it was really good. But I ain't ordering coffee to my fucking house like some kind of connoisseur or whatever. Bro, we go straight Bustelo, and that's a deal. You guys have heard me cry about that shit before. It's the best thing on earth. French press Bustelo. Put it in the fridge the night before after you press it. And then in the morning, you have ice cold Bustelo with some sugar-free vanilla creamer. Bro, it's like a fucking bump of cocaine in the morning. Wake you right up. You're like, oh, shit. I might make my lady fucking late for work today, boy. Either way, so it all depends on, what's, going back to what I was saying. Yeah, Cardi B, who cares if she gets her fucking butt, it's hard to live by these, like, spiritual principles without, like, judging. I can just say that this is not for me and not say that, like, okay, this is fucking bad, Or just, like, judging like I'm better. Like, look, I remember, they were around this time, such a fucking hoopla with that old song, with Baby It's Cold Outside, And I don't know, like if I read those lyrics similar to them reading Tupac lyrics in court, probably sounds a little bit rapey, if I'm being honest, It wasn't a big thing for me. I don't care. I never even heard that fucking song, But it was just like, all of those people who need something to complain about, I guess decided that they wanted to complain about that. So, but at the same time, allegedly, they're pulling that one off the airwaves, and it's like from like the fucking 1940s or 50s or whatever. And, it's hard to, come on, man. That's just what it was back then. I don't know. Like, people were like, whatever. Listen, I don't condone any of that stuff. I've never had somebody straight up be like, no. And then me like really try to convince them. Like, the convincing was like, bro, we're here. It's me and you right now. And fucking do it. I'll set the mood. I got game, bro. You don't see my woman? She's a freaking 12. She's a freaking 12. Anyway, so point is that like I was never really in a position that this guy, whatever. But it was the 40s. Back then, like, women were not like, apparently, or 50s, they weren't like loosey-goosey, and that was part of the game. So you have these boomers, right, that are like, oh, I feel bad that nobody in this day and age knows how to flirt back and forth with each other and play like this little ping pong game of, you got to say the right thing, otherwise this fucking clam is jumping back into the water, So, and I get that a little bit, like, dude, yeah, you got to be able to kick game. So there's that, and then there's like all these other people who are just like, you better ask for fucking consent before you blow somebody a kiss. Are they going to fucking take a picture of your license plate and say that you assaulted them or something? I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know. So that anyways, the point is that at the same time where they're trying to do all of that shit or whatever, what's circulating around on the net, right? They're like, it's this whole thing. It's just going to tip over the whole apple cart. At the same time, like, number one song is Wet Ass Pussy with Cardi B and the girl who got her fucking pinky toe shot off, Megan Thee Stallion, who honestly kind of looks like a little bit of a man, if you ask me. Like, I'm sure she's a beautiful, thick, sexy chocolate fucking double scoop ice cream cone, whatever. But, if you take off some of that shit, you could, whatever. Either way. She's a healthy gal. I'm going to say that. So these two are talking about wet ass pussy at the same time where somebody is saying like, you need to stay over and blah, blah, blah. So I get the difference. One guy's trying to get this girl in bed and he's saying whatever he's got to say to make that happen. Hey, listen, he ain't fucking, roofing her fucking drink or whatever. But, I don't know. Stand by. Hold on. Okay, yeah, we're back. Sorry about that. Yeah, that was my girl. She thought I was picking her up today. Yeah, so like, one of those things is like, yeah, you can say it's suggestive of like women empowerment, if you want to say that. Yeah, this is my WAP. Wet ass P, And I used to just like the song because it just, like, everybody gravitates to whatever. And I love the fact that it would always, the chorus would say, there's some hoes in this house. There's some hoes in this house. And I still sing that to this day. I go into my crib, there's some hoes in this house. Certified freak. 7 days a week. Like, yeah. So that's cool. I don't take it that seriously, but all right. So you have these people who are crying because of that. They're like, but what about Cardi B with her fucking, cement in her fucking butt and fake ass boobs and whatever and all of this stuff that's like number one for kids to be influenced by now. And you guys are reaching back to 1940 or whatever, 1950 to get this other song off the fucking air that doesn't even play anymore. Like if that thing was on rotation the same way that Cardi B was on rotation, that radio station would be out of business. And that's the truth. That radio station would be out of business. So there's that, right? Yeah. And so there's like all these different schools of, judgment. And it's real, man. It's fucking real, man. It's people that are getting angry. Nobody's getting angry in real life. They're just getting angry online. And that's the thing. So when I'm looking at news and everything on the computer, right? What the fuck am I'm asking myself, is this even real? Because nobody's walking around. You know, me and my friends will text each other like funny shit about stuff like that that's going on. Like the baby, it's cold outside. That's the only way, that, you know, me and Adam and Anthony, we were like sending each other memes about how stupid that whole debacle was. And that was last year. This year, what is it, right? It's fucking Hunter Biden laptop. It's the FDX guy, whatever his name is, who stole everybody's fucking money with crypto. He didn't get any of my money, but my crypto was way down. Way down. But it's okay. Like, I don't mind. I just... You know, I got to be in it to win it. I got to be in the fucking game. But the truth is that, yeah, everybody's offended by something, you know? And now, what is it, all right? This was the other thing I was joking about, even with my girl and with my kids. And some of you guys, you know, this podcast, we made it a whole year, if you can imagine that. We've made it a whole year. So, which is nice. And thank you for all the support. And please continue to share the stuff with everybody you love. So, now there is allegedly a bipartisan bill to, bipartisan bill to get TikTok fucking banned in America, right? That's what it is now. And it's like, it's so strategic. You know, I can't understand. I mean, I can understand, but this is what I mean. And I'll try and tie this whole thing in together. Like, I cannot understand for the life of me the level of manipulation that goes on between the government and the news outlets and all this other stuff. Where you get your information. I can't, you know, it's like gross. And it's very, you know, I think sometimes that I'm like crazy. I think that I'm crazy. And I'm only a little bit crazy. But I'm saying this because, like, when Orange Boy was president, right? And there's going to be people who are like, you fucking love him. I'm like, I don't love him. You know? I don't love the guy. I don't hate him, but I don't love him. Everybody's like, you know, I remember, I think I spoke about like these people, they were like, it was like a questionnaire, like a political questionnaire. They called my house and they're asking me like, you know, if we can talk about politics, whatever, can you answer questions for like 5 minutes, like a survey? And the first thing they said, we want to know what your feelings are about Donald Trump. I'm like, dude, he's not even fucking running. This was like maybe 2 months ago. So why are you even asking me about him? He's not even running. He wasn't even back anywhere when this was going on. I was like, this is so crazy. Like, I can see why people loved him. And especially older people, and I'll get into that in a minute. I can 100% see how eventually, when I get to the boomer age, I'm gonna be like, dude, we need somebody like him to shake the whole fucking ground, right? Regardless of what's being said, because that guy, this was his stance. His stance was, listen, TikTok is a fucking Chinese company. They're based in China. They're not based in America. And they are operating here and they're making money. Ad revenue, all this other stuff. And that money is going directly to fucking China. And so either they are going to have to pay some kind of tax by making money from American eyeballs, or they're going to have to get the fuck out. It's very hard. How do you even argue with that? How do you even argue with that? What are you going to say? Oh, but yeah, he grabbed her by the pussy. That, like, one thing, both things, you know, one thing has nothing to do with the other, you know? It just fucking doesn't. And around the same time, there was so many episodes of like Rogan, and they had these guys that were on there. I wish I could document it because like it was ridiculous. That they were talking about the algorithms around the same time that maybe that Netflix documentary came out. But I think that documentary came out a little bit afterwards. Anyway, Rogan was like one of the first cowboys over the hill that was sincerely talking about like, listen, he's like, dude, I get addicted to TikTok. He's honest. I'm like, I try to be the same way. What do they say? The saying is like, yo, you cannot pickpocket a naked man, right? So I just try to be as transparent with all of you and with everybody else as much as I fucking can, right? So, and he's the same way. So he's like, dude, I personally don't have TikTok. I've never had it. Now, there are TikTok videos that come up in my Instagram, but I don't have the actual app. So Trump was talking about, TikTok, they're getting a free ride over here, making hundreds of millions of dollars or whatever it is, tens of millions, maybe hundreds, tax-free. Ain't no fucking good. We ain't letting Chinese people do that to us. Now, we will do that to ourselves with the pharmaceutical industry and Nike and all this other stuff, yes. But we ain't going to let China do it. So, whatever with that. But I never got it because, like, when I was listening to these guys talk on Rogan, they were talking about how in China, the amount of, restrictions that TikTok has, we should have here. But we don't. We don't have it here. So what do they have over there? Like, apparently, I don't remember them all off the top of my head. So please don't fucking throw French fries at me in the diner saying that I was 100% wrong. I'm a human too. So, like, apparently, every third or fourth video of some idiot doing some stupid fucking dance, these kids are watching some kind of engineering video or some medical shit, some educational stuff where, like, kids are doing great things. So it's, like, mandatory that they can't just give them, mind-numbing stupid after stupid after stupid after stupid. It's, like, literally against the law for them to operate like that over there. And I think it's like if it was maybe 13 or 14 years old and below, after a certain time, maybe it's like 7 o'clock or something at night, they don't have any access to fucking TikTok. None. So, like, we were talking about this, me and my girl, and, like, other people I'd come in contact with, or other people who listen to Rogan and listen to the show, fucking, like, years ago. Like, legit 2 years ago, we were talking about this. It had to have been 2 because we're, like, midway through fucking, Biden in the office. So I had to have been at least 2 or more because it was around that time. And I'm like, dude, like, and, Orange Boy was saying, yeah, they could spy and this and that. Listen, everybody's fucking spying. That we know. Everybody's spying. So, point is that, like, now, 2 years later, they're talking about a bipartisan bill to ban TikTok. Now, when this was going on with a Republican president and with an alleged right-wing podcaster, which he is not, there was, like, racist. It was like racist. It was racist. And they're like, nah, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, it's so fucking stupid. Like, this is what China's doing. It's not like, oh, they're out to get me. But it's like, no, I posted this today on my Instagram because it was a very moving, quote that I got from Ed Calderon, right? And, come on, slow internet. And the quote is, nobody is against you. They are just for themselves. And that's the truth. So China is like, dude, we ain't going to send no bombs or anything over to America. We're not going to do anything like that. But what are we going to do? We're going to make their children stupider by inventing all of these different things that will occupy their time, and they're just going to be fucking dumb. And we have so many dumb fucking kids. Bro, they're just like, it's ridiculous. It is. It's honestly, it's ridiculous. You're thinking to yourself like, hey, man, you know, and this is where I kind of goes into like, oh, this is how boomers are born. And we are the next generation of boomers. Because, you know, I'm about to say the worst thing that somebody my age could say, which is back in my day. Yeah, back in my day, we didn't have the world at our fingertips. So you had to claw and scrape and fight for every single piece of information that you had to get ahead. And people kept stuff to themselves only because you couldn't find them. Now, I was just telling my girl today, instead of Googling shit, bro, I go straight on YouTube because people can't help themselves but want to put out videos about whatever. So I don't even Google things almost never anymore. I just go right on YouTube like, oh, here's a 1-minute video, somebody explaining something. I say, okay, that's it. Instead of me going from link to link to link with more fucking ads and this and that. So, you know, this is how boomers are born. So in my age group, I was born in 1979. Okay? So I lived through a lot of, like, I lived through whatever I lived through. You know what I'm saying? I lived through enough hypocrisy, you know, and enough bullshit. What did I live through, right? When I was in the 80s, you know, the 80s was the 80s, man. It was great. For me, I was a kid, you know, so I wasn't cognizant of, I mean, I knew about the crack epidemic. I knew about the AIDS epidemic. You know, I knew about all these things, whatever. But I'm saying like systematically, right? It wasn't until maybe I was in junior high that... Was I in junior high? Yeah, I was in junior high when Bill Clinton became president. Now, before Bill Clinton, it was Pappy Bush, the old man Bush, who, in hindsight, I was like, this guy was the head of the fucking CIA. He would never, you know, he's not somebody to be trusted on any level. Either way, right? So, we go through those 90s. And the 90s was the golden era for me. The fucking golden era, bro. It was amazing. If I could relive one decade, even though it started out with a bang, and at the end, dude, I was just, yeah, it was up in, yeah, it was my teenage years, you know. It was incredible, though. Just the whole experience of, it's a golden age of hip-hop, golden age of grunge, when the alternative rock scene came, all of that stuff. Fucking 9 Inch Nails, computerized music, internet was starting to bubble. I knew kids that they had this stuff called Prodigy. I was like, what? I don't even know. It was just amazing time. Baggy clothes, beepers, and bitches. Yeah. And Buddha. So, yeah. So you get what happens, right? Bill Clinton gets in office. While he's running, I remember, maybe I was in 8th grade, and like, he was like paraded as, there were people saying, and this is like such a disrespectful thing to say now, but at the time, I don't even know why they were saying it. They were saying Bill Clinton was the first black president. I was like, what does that even mean? I was like, dude, he's not even black. I remember thinking that. And I know because, listen, I have black people in my family. You know what I'm saying? I do. I have black people in my family. I have black people in my neighborhood. Every neighborhood I lived in. Except for when I lived like in like Windsor Terrace. There wasn't that many black people there. Yeah, either way, doesn't matter. So it's like, dude, it's like crazy for him to say. Because why is he the first black president? Because he put on a dollar store pair of sunglasses, went on Arsenio Hall, and played the fucking saxophone. Yeah, I've heard people call that like cooning. That's what he was doing. Because he was just placating. I don't even know if they call that placating. Black people in their mind couldn't believe that, like, this guy was a little bit down to earth. Meanwhile, he was like an accused fucking molester, rapist, fucking animal. You know? I remember when those women were coming forward talking about that shit. Like, it was crazy. Before Lewinsky. I forgot the girl's name. The lady, Paula something or whatever. There was a few of them. And I was like, dog, these women are just like, they're like, no, man, this guy's a fucking animal. You know? And at the same time, it was when Anita Hill was going, you know, the sexual harassment shit about Clarence Thomas, which was crazy. This guy was going to be on the Supreme Court. And this lady was straight up like saying this guy also is a fucking animal. Now, in my mind, during that time, I was a young person, and my perception of power was like, you know, rich guys and powerful guys get all the fucking women. And that's it. So you want some women, this is how you get them. You know, you got to go after the bag or you got to go after some power. What does Bill Burr say? That, and I agree, that, you know, the guy in Home Depot wants to bang as many models as Tiger Woods, but he doesn't. It's not because he's a bad guy. It's because hoes don't like lumber. And that's very true. So there's that, right? And you're just like, what is going on? You know, it's like crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. So you start to see, like, you know, cracks in the little belief system that you have, that this place is going to be run on the up and up. Right? And you have Rodney King, which I'm like, dude, that was fucking bonkers. You know? And it wasn't, yeah, it just wasn't, the police were never friendly. They were never friendly to me, ever. And I have white skin. They just wasn't friendly. You know? I mean, I never got beat up that bad. Like the way, you know, that was like fucking crazy. And there's always going to be people who justify whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I don't know how you can look at stuff like that and say it's okay. And then you say, oh, it was the time. So then, you know, you got Clinton. He's up there. And, you know, I remember my dad. Like, this is I'm telling you, 90s was crazy, right? So you have Clinton, he's the fucking president. You have the now president, Joe Biden, going fucking crazy on Anita Hill in public on television. And I'm thinking about that now. I'm like, dude, if I was Anita Hill's husband, I would have met that motherfucker in the shitter. And I would have threw him a fucking beating. Because let me tell you something, like, bro, nobody yells at my woman except for me. Nobody. I don't give bro, I don't care. I do not care. Maybe I'm a caveman in that way. I don't want to talk it out. Nobody disrespects my fucking woman, bro. Nobody disrespects my kids. Nobody disrespects my woman. Maybe that's too much Andrew Tate for now. but that's just the way that I am. I could never live with myself if somebody spoke to. No fucking way, bro. No way. So you have all that stuff going on. Hillary, at the same time, is throwing shit at all the women accusing her husband. You know, treating them and talking to them like they're shit. None of these people believe in fucking gay marriage. This wasn't that long ago. Right? Because it just doesn't fit their agenda at that time. Not like now. Right? Not like now. So, you know, I'm watching that unfold, and I'm going through my own things, going through my own life. You know, chasing that bag, chasing drugs, alcohol. I'm chasing the glory. My whole life was the glory. Drugs, alcohol, rock and roll, women, partying. It was amazing. It was amazing. You know, but I was, a little bit cognizant of what was going on. You know, I remember the first World Trade Center bombing, that kind of stuff. The guy drove the van into the thing or whatever. All that stuff, right? I remember Iraq invading Kuwait. Then we go into, we ran up in the shit, whatever. I remember that vaguely. Then I remember, I'm coming out of that whole fog, right? Early 2000s. I remember, George Bush Jr. I remember, who was it? Was it Dan Quayle? It was Dan Quayle. It was somebody that, I remember, it might have been him, that they made a big deal about that guy not being able to spell potato. It's like, if he can't spell potato, he can't be qualified to be the president if he can't even spell potato. That was like a thing. It's so crazy how far we've fallen. Our last two presidents, bro. Are you kidding me? It's fucking, yeah, it's Weekend at Bernie's and the fucking meth head orange, runaway orange with the meth problem. I don't know. Right? So, you watch that unfold. Then you watch 9/11, which was fucking, it's unspeakable. It's unspeakable. And I was there, dog. I was right there. I wasn't there on television. I wasn't there in New Jersey. I wasn't there in Florida. I wasn't there in California. Like, I was fucking there, bro. That was a crazy, crazy experience. It was just crazy. And then all these, like, it was just like the age of conspiracies start, like real conspiracies start, like, unfolding, in our lives. We're just like, oh, and then people start putting out these videos. And then obviously, Baby Bush, who, bro, that guy, they just put him there. I don't know why. They just put him there. Oh, sorry, going back to Clinton. This is a very important thing for me. I remember my dad, because my dad is like a Democrat, which blows my mind, because he's just an angry old white man. So I remember he was telling me about this thing called NAFTA, free trade. I was like, what the fuck is that? He's like, he's gonna fucking kill the whole country with that NAFTA shit. I was like, what is that? He's like, let me tell you something. He says, if they make a Ford engine, they got to make it here in America. Because if they make it in Mexico, then to bring that engine back here, they're going to have to pay a tax to the American people because you're putting Americans out of work to make it cheaper in Mexico. I'm like, all right. He's like, yeah, they're getting rid of that tax. So what companies, he's using Ford as the example. What companies like Ford are they going to do? They're going to go down there. They're going to open up a factory, and they're going to fucking make all the shit down there. Then they're going to pay the people fucking nothing so they can't even afford their own car that they're making. Then it's going to be shipped back over here. And then it's going to be sold to us and nobody's going to fucking blah, blah, blah. They're going to circumvent the system. He said the whole fucking manufacturing is going to die. And then he would take me around to these places. There was a place in the Bronx. Please do not slap me for getting the name wrong, because I'm remembering this in the moment. It was something called like swing line staplers or something. And they were making staplers or staples or whatever. Something to do with that. And it was in the fucking Bronx. And it was a factory, and they employed a lot of fucking people. And guess what? That shit went fucking gone. I remember my uncle. I had my uncle. Well, he was, yeah. Well, my aunt's husband. I'll call him my uncle. It's like, yo, every generation in my family has a different set of uncles because nobody makes the final fucking cut, right? So, yeah. So, but a lot of them, they worked in factories. My uncle, Agustin, he worked in a factory, man, building fucking like those big metal fire doors and all that shit. Dude, it was fucking crazy. Like, factory job was real. The Motor City, all of that. So my dad was warning me because he was crying about it. And if you ask him, he'll say, yeah, I called up Curtis and Kubi and I ripped their fucking lungs out on the fucking thing. Because this fucking free trade is bullshit. And fucking they're going to kill the American worker. Now, how long did it take for that to happen? 10 years? 15 years? Enough that people forgot how it happened, right? That's how long it fucking took. That the dust settled and nobody knew how that happened. Like, why there's so many people out of work in this country. Forget it. And then what do? They disguise it with like the coal miners. The fuck out of here, bro. Right? Yeah, coal. They say coal. No, bro. Like, all the manufacturing is fucking gone. So we lived through that. And then, all right, going back to speeding it up. Yeah, then Baby Bush gets us in the fucking after 9/11. Afghanistan, Iraq. It's madness. Now comes the age of information, right? Now we're talking about early 2000s, mid 2000s, right? Where the internet is really fucking bumping. All of a sudden you start to, then I'm able to find information which was unfindable for me. Unless I was reading the Wall Street Journal, New York Times for fucking 30 years, or going to microfiche shit in the fucking, in the library, right? Come to find out that, like, there were all these things where, and it wasn't like theory, where like the CIA was giving like fucking LSD mind control shit in the 60s or the 70s, where all those planes that were flying all the cocaine, they were landing all in Arkansas, right? Where fucking Bill Clinton was in, he was involved. It was the only place that they could land was in his state. And that's how he, allegedly that's how he became into the group that becomes the leader of the whole thing. That he had his hands in that, besides, raping women and all this other stuff, right? That he had his hands in the fucking crack game. And that, like, it had to do with, like, Noriega and not the rapper and whatever, right? What was the other thing? The Iran-Contra. All of that stuff, like, you start to read, like, wow, man, the government does some fucked up shit. Dude, they do fucked up shit to us. Forget about that. You start to uncover that it's not like a Republican thing or a Democrat thing so much as that, like, who's fucking worse up there, bro? Who's worse? I start to learn about all this shit. Then I read, like, Behold, a Pale Horse, right? You read books like that. Then you start to be like, I don't want to use the W word. You start to be, I'm not going to say woke, awoken to, like, how the systems freaking work, right? Yeah, you start to be awoken by that. Then you start to learn about other things like Israel. What were they doing? Oh, they were like giving like Ethiopian Jewish women, they were sterilizing them so they couldn't make any more fucking babies. Do with that information what you wish. But that's what was happening. All these things that are just like, you know, you have this ideal, red, white, and blue, true blue, America, blah, blah, blah. And you realize these people, they're all fucking animals over there, you know? They're all animals. And that they're humans, and any human can be corrupted. Most of them can, you know? And then you go from all of that, you know, then you have like the market crash, '08, right? Meanwhile, you know, Baby Bush sends all of our guys into Iraq and Afghanistan for no fucking reason. At the same time, you know, these guys like, there's no WMDs. Who is it? Bernie and maybe one other person is saying like, yo, we should not go into Iraq, you know, and whatever. He's sounding an alarm. Everyone thinks he's a crazy old white man. So, and this is just, all of this is just my own experience. It's my perspective on how I lost trust in the powers that be over here. So, then what happens, right? Then you get the '08 crash. First you had the dot-com bubble crash before that. Sorry. Internet was bumping. Everything was .com. And I remember that's when I was working on Wall Street. Towards the end of that, I caught like the last like few months of that. And then it was 9/11. And then I built a business after 9/11 where I made a lot of money. Because the market was cut in half after that. And then I was building shit during that time. And it was almost like the dot-com bubble. It was like you could throw a dart at the board and everything was going up. So, but before then, there was every company was online and they had these insane valuations. It was all just like, you know, a house of cards. You're moving around, you're moving around, you're moving around. You know, was it 3-card Monte, whatever you want to call it. So as I'm getting older in age, I'm seeing how much fucking dog shit is being fed to us. And I'm getting like resentful. But I'm like, maybe this, I don't know, maybe it's a rough patch. I don't know. And then '08 happens, right? Obama comes in, right? '08 happens. First off, Barack Obama, you know, like the first black president, the real one, not fucking molester Clinton, you know. And he's got, who does he got with him, right? He's got the same guy who 15 years earlier, whatever, was yelling at a black woman at a Supreme Court hearing because she was accusing her boss of sexual harassment. That's who he's got with him. And on top of that, the crime bill, you know, that they were just fucking massacring inner cities, right? With that. Now listen, the drug game is the drug game. But when they put those crack fucking Rockefeller whatever laws, whatever they were, madness ensued. And they separated families. And the punishments were way too harsh. Meanwhile, they all had a hand in how that shit even got here. Like this is not me magically, fictitiously connecting fucking dots. You know, so that's who's in office. How that even happens, who knows, right? My favorite thing was watching Obama kick the shit out of Hillary Clinton. Because to me, she's just a see you next Tuesday. She's not a nice person. You know, just the way, yeah, bro. She's still married to this guy. And on top of that, when he was in office, Slick Willie, bro, he just, he basically, by today's standards, he Me Too'd an intern, right? They're going to say, oh, she was willing, whatever. Meanwhile, she was like 20 years old, and it's the whole power thing, right? The whole power thing, the same shit that Harvey Weinstein was fucking doing with movies, he was doing in the Oval Office, right? Nobody, that's why it was funny. It was funny, and I'll get to where I'm going. So you get the '08 crash, which is crazy. It's not crazy when you're looking at it from where I was standing. I was watching guys in my office, and they were buying these ARMs, these adjustable rate mortgages, right? My boy, Greg, I don't want to say his last name. He was buying like an apartment in Hoboken. He'd get an ARM, and the value, so he was getting in fucking cheap, like 2%. And then he would flip it before the ARM adjusted, because I think it was like a 3-year thing. So he was moving like every couple of years. He was like, bro, I'm fucking making $60,000 every time I flip. It's crazy. So he was doing that. And there were other guys that were doing that. So I knew how these ARMs worked. I was not in a position to buy any properties or do anything like that, because I was just drinking, snorting all my money and doing all that stuff. So no, sorry, I missed that boat. And yeah. So then, all right, so decimated '08 stuff, right? Banks are fucking gonna collapse. I don't want to go into a whole thing how that happened. I can explain it in actual pretty good detail because I understand financial instruments and how they work. If you want to know how that happened, the best way, similar to YouTube, is to watch that movie, The Big Short, and then you will understand exactly how that happened. So, meanwhile, the government was backing a lot of these fucking loans and whatever. People got the short end of the stick again. So everything, the whole system is rigged on pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump. And we get the short end of the stick every fucking time. Regular taxpayers. We had to bail out the banks. We had to. Because they told us we had to. I think there was another thing where in Iceland, I think it was Iceland or somewhere in Scandinavia, bro, the banks that were involved in shit like that, dude, those guys, they went to fucking jail. They went to jail. Here they were getting these huge fucking bonuses to help. Oh, please, get the fuck out of here. And they make you believe that they're this smart. They're not that smart. You know what they are good at? They're good at finding ways to manipulate people and the system. That's what they're good at. And that's what they do. Right? And they're like, oh, Obama's weak. Fucking all this other shit. Meanwhile, Obama's out there and he's doing drone strikes like a motherfucker. He's out there slinging dick. Doing drone strikes crazy. If you look at the statistics, like he did the most. He did the fucking most. He did the most, man. It's fucking wild. So then you have all of this time where regular people are getting the shit kicked out of them. All these people are coming back from when Bush sent them overseas, Iraq. They're coming back and they have PTSD and they're doing all this other shit. The government is 100% not taking care of them. I will fight any congressman about what veterans get because I know firsthand. I fucking know how little they do for them. How little they do. They basically make them almost like welfare recipients. Like some food stamps, some medication, put them on lithium, send them out there on the street. Meanwhile, these pharmaceutical companies at that time, they start busting out these fucking pills. Right? The pain pills. Then the pain clinics go. Boom. Right? Everywhere. There's pain clinics all over Florida and all over these other places. Making addicts out of everybody. And who cares? These companies, man, they're just printing money, billions and billions. And the government is saying, like, we didn't know. Like, bro, you can ask, it's insulting It's insulting because you could have went to any street corner or any place where there were drug addicts and asked them about those blues or those oxys, roxys, Vicodins, the Xanax bars, all of that stuff. You can ask them about any of that. They would have been like, bro, this shit is straight fucking drugs. But no, they make pretend they don't know because all the lobbyists are paying them and blah, blah, blah. And they're getting donations. They turn a blind eye. The Sacklers, they make billions and billions of dollars. And, you know, they get fucking $100 million fine. You know. Yeah. So this is how, you know, somebody who is my age, maybe older. So imagine the people who are my age who are like, wow, we're really sick of this shit. This is getting fucking crazy. Like the amount of lying is getting fucking crazy. The amount of misleading and, yeah, bullying. I'm going to call it that. The amount of bullying is getting fucking crazier. It's getting crazier. And all they do is they put on a new show every year. Me Too. That's the show of the year. And then, you know, vaxxers versus anti-vaxxers. You know. And you start to dig into any of that stuff and we could have 15 episodes about who's getting paid and what was true and what was not and all these other things. Eventually you just give up and be like, I cannot fucking trust or believe any of these people. And the more information that's out there, then when you have like real information, like, no, that's fake news, right? It's like, no, some of it's not. The same people who did all of these bad things to American citizens in the past, all of a sudden now they're just fucking good guys. They just turned over a new leaf. Is that what you're trying to tell me? You know, the same people who poisoned black and brown fucking communities and the same people who drugged, you know, tested, were doing fucking electric shock fucking treatment and the CIA doing all this other covert shit everywhere. I'm supposed to just say, well, now they're good. Now they're good. I'm just gonna take whatever they give me. I'm gonna take you know. This is how fucking people don't want to take the vaccine. They've lived through all of this stuff. This is how somebody becomes like a MAGA boy. They're like, bro, we just want somebody who's not one of them. Listen, I have close friends that will not say one bad thing about Hillary Clinton. I'm like, what is she, fucking levitating above the rest of us? Is that what you're saying? They will not say one bad thing about Barack Obama. I can say good and bad things about everybody because I have the right fucking objective perspective where I'm like, dude, they're human. And if they're at that level, they're fucked up in 100 different ways. You know? Because this is just how they are. That's how they operate. You know, I remember when Hillary was running against Donnie Boy, and when she got the nomination, I remember my son was out there during all those Bernie rallies in the city and everything, and somehow Hillary fucking won New York, and he came home. He was like so hurt. He's like, dude, there was nobody showing up for Hillary ever. Not nobody, but let's say, you know, 3,000 people show up for Hillary. Yo, it would be like 90,000 for Bernie. And then you come to find out how it was not like, oh, I'm going to connect these crazy dots. But like, no, there was a conspiracy in the DNC to fucking not let him get the shot. And my mom told me. She told me right away. I was like, Ma, I kind of like Bernie. She was like, it's like they'll never let him win. He's too good. He's too good. And yeah, he overshoots the mark with with free healthcare and this and that and whatever. But you have to shoot that far off the mark to get, he knows if you shoot for there, you ain't going to get that, but you'll get halfway there, which is probably what we should all get. But you have to shoot that far out because of the amount of fucking hurdles and ball washing that goes along in Washington. So my question to myself, and this is what I've been, you know, what I've been wrestling with literally the last couple of days. Like, dude, I don't want to turn into the cynical old fucking man that they call like a boomer. I don't know what they're going to call me. But they're going to call me something, because the younger kids are going to be like, no, this is a new show. And I'm like, no, bitch, this is the same fucking whack-a-mole that I saw 17 times before. But since you didn't live through it and you didn't see it, to you it's like theory. So you don't believe it. But I promise you, none of these people are your fucking friends. None of them. All right? And we're going to get fucking hurt again. That's why I was so happy when Orange Boy beat fucking Hillary. Crooked Hillary. He's crooked too. But because the entitlement of everybody that just followed that, it's her turn. What do you mean it's her fucking turn? What does that even mean? What is that? Are we going to forget all the other stuff? Nobody wants to like just admit it. That's what I don't understand, man. And it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating, the lack of fucking humanity. You know, that people have. You know, it's like, yo, you can vote for Trump and I'll still be your friend. And if that makes people who are super left not want to be my friends because I'm friends with people who voted for Trump, I don't want to fuck with them either. Because out of all the Magistan guys that I know, nobody has ever said to me, oh, you like fucking Obama? Then fuck you. I don't want to be your friend. No, none of them. It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre. And trust me, the extreme right has their own fucking problems too. You know? So the only thing we could do is we have to take accountability for ourselves. Like, where in my life am I judging other people the way that I don't want to be fucking judged? And I have to be honest with myself about that. You know, I have to be so honest with myself about that. And it sucks because I don't want to be a hypocrite, man. I don't want to be a fucking hypocrite. So, yeah, you know, when they were talking about, think about all of the things that people are saying are crazy now. The same way they said the lab leak theory was fucking crazy. The same way they said that Fauci was the guy. And then everything unfolded. You know? Think about all of that stuff. Think about, you know, people talking shit about, what's her name? Brittany Griner being released for this madman, a weapons guy. Bro, a weapons guy for a basketball player. Are you fucking crazy? Now, people are saying a lot of different things when it comes to that. Allegedly, the guy was coming to the end of his sentence anyway, right? So to get Brittany, they were like, all right, we'll do that. And I'm like, in my mind, as much weapon shit that we do on this fucking earth, we do, the Israelis do, everybody does it. Everybody's both good and bad, but they're good because they're you know, they're good in ways that's good for them. They're not good at that in ways that's good for people. Think about the vaccine with Moderna, that they didn't want to open up their fucking patent so people in Africa and everywhere else can get the same shit. That doesn't even really fucking work. Don't tell me vaccine, oh, you'll get less COVID. Go fuck yourself. Then it's not a vaccine. Just say it's a deterrent. It's not a vaccine. Bro, I take the polio vaccine. I don't get fucking polio. I don't want to hear any of that shit. And then people say, oh, but you know, what are you, fucking conspiracy? You're an anti-vaxxer? Like, no. I'm a human being, bro. I'm a real person. I've never, like, who else is humble enough to be like, listen, I took the vaccine. I took the 2 shots. I joke about it now because I still have the fucking brain fog from the 2 shots. Does everybody get the brain fog? No, but I got it. And I can be honest and say, look, I got it. And then people start to tell me why I got it. I'm like, dude, I didn't have it before then. I have it now. If you ask my mom has gotten every fucking shot, every booster, whatever. And she still has the fucking fog. You know? It actually works a little bit in my favor where I don't put my foot in my mouth too much because there's like a fucking little bit of a delay. But what I'm saying is that, like, we need to, just learn to trust ourselves more than the people feeding us all this garbage. It's like mind control. And it's not just here, it's everywhere on earth. Now, listen, I'm very happy to be an American. I'm a proud American. I couldn't figure out how to get the flag to fly outside of my house, upstate. And I bought one. Fucking first day I owned the house, the first thing I did was buy an American flag. Because that's what I wanted fucking. So I'm happy I'm here. In that case, because I'm still obviously under the radar. And nobody could sue me for libel or whatever for talking shit on my own show. And I have the opportunity to live my life the way that I live, the way that I want to live, so long as it's not in conflict. You don't get absolute freedom. You can't be in conflict with the fucking, the pigs and the power. What is it, 4 legs good, 2 legs bad? You can't be in conflict with the 2 legs bad people. Because they will fucking ruin your life. They will ruin your life if you don't play their game. So you got to play their game. But at least you're in a game. And I can do whatever I need to do my way. I have to earn it. You know, I have that freedom, but I have to earn the right to be free and isolated from some of those systems and to make bread in order to help other people and reinvest it in my community. And my community just means anybody who's also in the fight with me. Not just where I live, but just people in general who are also just trying to get out of the mud. You know? It's like we're in this big fucking sandbox and the government is on the other side and they're just like letting the hose run so we can't get out. It's fucking crazy. And the answer to that is for us to stick together. You know? That's why I was like a big fan of like, I'm a big fan of people who show me a glimmer of that. But I'm going to end up being a cynical person. Because there's not enough of us that make it to the place where real change can happen. You know, so we have to do it ourselves in our own lives and not online, not with what are the send thoughts and prayers and hugs and all this shit. Yeah, man. That ain't it. You got to find a way to touch the people where you are. And whether you want to tell everybody that you do it or you don't, who cares? If you want to go and donate your time in some way at a soup kitchen or this, that, or whatever you want to do, where there's no benefit to you, aside from you doing the donating and you knowing that you're doing the Lord's work, you can shout from the rooftop that you do it. Maybe it will help other people get their ass in gear instead of trying to be like, oh, well, I need to be humble and keep it to myself. No, man. I share some of the stuff that I do with other people so that way they know. I'm like, bro, this is the part of the way that I feel so good all the time. Oh, you like to be around me? You like to hang out? You think I'm insightful? You think I'm a spiritual motherfucker? You want to know a part of how that happens? I do this, and this to people, with people. I don't care. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Any person that meets me can be like, oh, dude, where do you donate your money? How much do you donate? How much do you give people? I will fucking give you a list right now. I'll give you a list right now. You know, because it doesn't matter to me. You know, the Lord is the one that gets all the credit. I'm just doing my job. He gave me life, and it's what I do with that life and how I give back. And if it's just like, look, you know, I don't judge other people. I know motherfuckers that give people like $1. You know, and I'm like, bro, that's what you're doing? Like, yeah, I gave him $1. Like, bro, what if you gave him $5 fucking dollars? What if you gave somebody $20 in the street? Just say, here, man. Just for being, to be like, no, because I need. Like, bro, if you can't spare $20, I don't know what to tell you with your life. You know, make some different choices so you put yourself in a position so where you can spare $20. That's how it goes. You know, that's what I did. I put myself in a position where I can spare time and I can spare resources so that way I can help other people. That's what I did. That was the deal I made with the Lord. He's like, yo, man, I'll keep all the drugs, the alcohol, the fucking women. I'll keep them all on the shelf and they will stay there so long as you're good to the rest of my kids. And as long as you keep that as your focus, I will continue to feed you what you need to be able to give and to be of service to other people. You'll never go without. Whether that's just how the cards are going to work for you. But as soon as you start reaching for security where you need more than you really, what you believe is your fair share or whatever, that stuff is going to start looking good to you again. That vodka and all the other things that go along with that. The destruction of your freedom is going to look and it's going to sound good to you. So anyway, hope you guys have a good holiday. I got a guest coming on this week. I got these people just fucking texting me this bullshit. But let me turn this on. Just bear with me. This guy, he's somebody I know. Well, I'm about to meet him Saturday in recovery. And yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. So, and he does like rap music, and he's in the same business I'm in. And it'd be great to meet him. We fought a few years ago on the computer when we were both like simpletons. And now we're not. We're going to make something happen. And he's been, you know, we're both on the evolutionary train. So this is some of his shit. It's called The Bondage of Self. The name of his group or his rap name is Hectic, Hectik. You can find it on Apple or wherever. This is from Tidal. So I'll play you a little bit and then we're out. Peace.
Yo, sometimes I feel like a walking contradiction. I know what the truth is, but my head tells me lies and shit. Sometimes I believe it. They told me freedom's available to any man who seeks it. Guess I'm a work in progress. Rage-filled days spilled into each other. In a haze still, why can't my thoughts get uncovered? Been a long time since I blacked out on a brother. But these thoughts, man, fuck these thoughts. They a motherfucker, shit's good. While my own head tell me different. I'm a warrior, while my own head tell me victim. I survived drug addiction, load the needle and stick it. While my own head tell me I ain't shit and start nitpicking. God gave me life, I gave me strife. I'm designed like a kid from the times of cheap life. I beat death, cheated the rest, flee to my rest. If need be, I see I'm the best, fuck the rest. See I'm either or, either I'm the man in my own mind, or I'm a piece of shit, all of this in my own mind. Depression sets in, and I ain't about shit, the obsession kicks in. I need these thoughts to lift, aggression stays by my side, down to ride. I'm down to go down when my thoughts take a dive. I'ma keep pushing through, make it to the other side.
All right, guys, that was Hectic. We're going to chat with him this weekend and bust something out for next week. I love you guys. Peace.